Hey, it's Ed here. Today we're taking a look at technical analysis for US oil or WTI crude oil on TVC. This is again starting from monthly time frame and starting from the beginning. We don't have too much data here until the 1980s, but we'll look overall structure here first. So this is what I've got. Overall, we have ground supercycle here, wave 1 here done. There's nothing really else I could be labeling this with. I can't really find a really bearish pattern here. So I'm thinking this as a 1, 2, some kind of flat here, or WXY correction here for the wave 2, and really short some kind of zigzaggy pattern here for the wave 4. And after that we just blasted upwards to create this wave 1. This is again at the 2008, and then we had this major crash that took part for 08 to 2020. So what, 12 years, 12-year correction. Whether this is a grand supercycle or just supercycle, I'm unsure, but I've labeled this as grand supercycle for now. The other scenario is that wave 2 is not done yet, and this is indeed just a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now this really did get basically to 0, this wave 2, so I'm not expecting this to be a reality. I just wanted to have it on the charts as that was before I looked at the real values here. On logarithmic charts we can see this kind of action here. This basically came down to 0.01, so basically 0. Reminds me mostly about some kind of shit coin here that just again resurrected itself somehow, and now we're up back towards the all-time highs. But we'll see what happens. Just wanted to share that. This is the most likely scenario though, which is again my primary. I'm quite not happy with this, how I've labeled this, but again it is possible. I have had this as a W, X and Y coming down here. This would have to be some kind of a zigzag as well. This does not really confirm or go with any guidelines without or for the time wise. There's no relationships between the W and the wave Y for the time. It does, however, have the one-to-one extension for this leg and from here to this one. So one-to-one extension for the WXY is met really well here. Otherwise, this looks pretty good, solid inside structure or subway structure. It is pretty good looking. There's most likely other ways to place down these correction patterns or corrective patterns where we could have some kind of a higher degree structure, doing probably this one and ending here, then this one and then this one. I wouldn't be mad about that either, but this is just the way I labeled it here. Overall, it does not really matter. Again, if we are saying that wave 2 ended here, everyone is going to be saying that this structure is done now, right? So whatever or however we are going to be labeling inside the structure, it does not really matter overall, at least as it is just the corrective part. Okay, so let's get into the actual structures here that I've analyzed a bit longer. So again, starting from the 2020 crash here, let me point this down a bit and then close these. We don't need that one either. So we have a couple of different scenarios here. One really bullish and one called bear that is just less bullish. It is not, the bear count is not saying that we are actually bearish. It's just more bearish than this bullish count. Okay. So here I've had this 1, 2 here. There's just no other areas here where I could be placing wave 1, 2. The only area we had was this one, so I'm thinking this 1, 2 is actually just a subway structure for this one. So yeah, I'm starting my primary 1, 2 here. I'm not thinking this as the third wave or anything as of yet. the 1.618 of this primary is all the way up here. So at the earliest, I would be considering this as a third of this primary. But there is other ways to label this, and we're going to be looking at that right now. This bullish scenario is saying that we have five-way structure here into wave 1, 2. I'm going to be showing the subway structure here on the other count if you are interested. So 1, 2, another 1, 2, another 1, 2. So nested 1, 2s, really bullish count. And we've just only completed wave 3 of this smallest one here. Then we would have the third minor one, intermediate, and then primary one to come later on. Yeah, this again, we would have third wave up here, highest RSI on a higher time frame at least, and then we would have some kind of correction downwards. This did hit the 0.618 and did make a new lower low from this point, at which point again we are saying that this is most likely where the wave 2, the wave 4 is ending, and the last leg of this minute structure is starting from. Now, without getting too closely onto the local structure yet, let's take a look at the more bearish count. Again, same pivots for the 1, 2 here, but instead of wave 1 being here, we have the wave 3 here already. Wave 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, then again some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here into the third wave of minor wave. This should be obviously here. Then 4 and 5 into the third of intermediate. At that point we would have some kind of a running flat here. Actually, I'm not even sure what this is. I couldn't get any good looking structures. I tried to get a diagonal here. It just doesn't measure up well. It does look like it somewhat like this, but I just couldn't get a good measurement from there. One of the structures was too large. But in any case, we would have this as a 4. If we can have this as a 1, 2 structure, then we would just have it here. There's not really too much alteration here for the wave 2 and 4 at this case. So we could have it here, I guess. At this point, we would have another 5-way structure into the end of the third of primary here. Again, this is way more bearish than I would consider really plausible, but again, I guess it could be. Is still viable even though it does not hit the targets here. 1.618 again, all the way up here. We could be shifting these around for sure. Yeah, another 1, 2, 3, 4. This is making it less likely to be the case though, just because these structures are larger than these ones, meaning that smaller degree wave structures are larger than the higher degree ones, which makes this a less likely scenario overall. We could be saying that if we can manage this as a 1, 2, another 1, 2 possibly, but that would again be close to this bullish scenario, and I wanted to differentiate these two possibilities by a lot. So this bearish count is still saying that we still have one more leg up, at least one more leg up for the 5th of intermediate and the 5th of primary, but we'll see what happens. Now let's take a look at this local time frame and the actual possibilities that we have here. I've only created one count here on the local structures, as this is to me is really bullish looking. We have here as some kind of structure coming down here and ending again here. The bullish count said that it was wave 4 of minute, but again, depending on the way you are going to be labeling degrees, this could be varying for sure. I'm just starting with a minute 1, 2 here, but again, it could be some other degrees as well. For the wave 2 of minute here, I've labeled this as a zigzag for A, another zigzag for B, and then 5 waves for C. This is creating a running flat for the wave 2. 5 waves are pretty good looking here. So that is the main reason I wanted to create this running flat. Then after that, we have a possible 5-way structure here into a wave 1, and then a wave 2 structure here. Now, I have to say that this is not very clear for our 3-way structure here. So I guess we could be saying that we are still within this wave 2. We can be saying that as long as we don't hit the 1.618 here. So yeah, it could be a bit bearish, more bearish scenario. This is a structure that I did not really decrypt that well. I guess we could have some kind of WX, YX, Z on really low time frame. That would give us this 5-wave-ish look. But yeah, definitely not my favorite structure here. For the next structure here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Wave 1 and 4 are not overlapping there, really close though. But yeah, it is still valid. Wave 3 definitely not hitting any major targets, but if we want to have this as a bullish structure here, we would have to label it like this, as that's next leg downwards is already coming down to the wave 1 area here. So yeah, after that, again, looking for the wave 2, whether it's done or not, we will see. We could be looking at these targets here for the possible wave B, if we don't want to say that wave 2 is done. So at this case, we could be still saying that this is some kind of A wave, B wave, and then C wave coming down, trying to take out these lows. So that is definitely local bearish time. If we are taking the 1.618 here, I wouldn't even think this is a B wave anymore. So yeah, there's still a bit more higher ways to go. But inside here of the B wave, we could be again labeling this as an ABC. We can take some kind of a measurement here. 1-to-1 would be getting right to the 1.236, which is definitely some area that we could be looking at as a resistance area. Take a look at if there is some kind of structure there. Other areas, 1.236 for this lower time frame and the 1.382 are lining up really well as well around here. So let me just mark these up, these two areas, and let's see if we have some kind of structure here. Let's go to 30-minute. Well, on the lower one, we do have that. We have a couple of weeks down here. We had low close here for sure. We had on the upper one as well. We did have as a support, even a back test here. So definitely both of these areas are really going to be interesting to me on the future. So if we want to be playing this as some kind of wave B coming downwards, taking possible short setup here, and having the stops above the 1.618, definitely some viable strategy. If I'm at the computer on these, I could be taking a look and possibly looking for the short setups here. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to share on oil at the very moment. And if you have another account you would like to share, join my Discord server, link in the description below. Also, if you would like me to update a certain other asset, let me know as well on the comments below. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one. Bye bye.